Hello everyone, welcome to the radio channel of Vietnamese's Thinking. We hope you will find moments of relaxation with our deep reflections on inner self, philosophy, and the simple things in life. There may be things that are quite different from the world you live in, but that doesn't matter. We are all humans living on this earth, and somewhere we will find common ground. Imagine an Asian guy traveling, working, or simply wandering around your country. He has typical Asian facial features, hair, and body shape, making it easy for others to recognize him, even if he tries to hide it. Even if he dyes his hair blonde, dresses like a European, and becomes as tall and muscular as a European, he cannot easily hide his Asian origins because of his eye color, facial features, skin tone, and eyebrows. But is he as purely Asian as his ancestors were? You might see many Asians like that, but most of them have lost their pure Asian essence. They are heavily influenced by what we call the Western way of living, and I am one of those people. Yes, most Asians are largely influenced in this way. I'm not saying all, but most of us are affected whether we like it or not. Some people don't even realize they are influenced because they were born into a world where their surroundings were already like this. If our grandparents or great-grandparents were to come back to life and see us, they would be very surprised. They might not even believe we are their descendants. Why? Because we are so different from our ancestors. You might think, of course, the world changes and develops, so we must be different from our ancestors. But hold on, many aspects of our development come from sources unrelated to our ancestors. We are influenced by other countries, and now the extent of this influence can be as much as 90%. Let's list a few things. We are educated from primary school, secondary school, to university in an education system developed based on Western models. Naturally, the mindset within this system follows Western thinking. We are raised on a lot of Western food. Many families may maintain traditional dishes, but items like Coca-Cola, beer, wine, bread, fried chicken, sauces, and packaged or canned foods are everywhere. Even traditional markets in Vietnam now face the threat of cheap, industrially produced frozen pork and beef. What about the clothes we wear? 90% are Western style. In every daily activity, from staying at home, going out, exercising, to attending important events, the fashion and styles are Western. And what else? We work and interact according to Western cultural norms. From job titles, meetings, communication styles in the workplace, and in some places, the primary language of communication at work is English. Even when we speak with colleagues or friends in our native language, the work environment requires us to send emails in English. Our daily language is mixed with a lot of borrowed English words. A common story in Vietnamese families is that when children visit their parents or grandparents, the elders often can't understand what they are saying because they use so many English words, making it hard for parents and grandparents to fully communicate with them. What else? Even our homes, the interior design, kitchenware, living room and bedroom furniture, and many other things are products designed and created by Westerners. What do you think about this? Perhaps it's the law of development. This development makes our lives more convenient and comfortable, right? But for me, as an Asian, I feel a sense of loss from my people, from my ancestors. Even though I benefit from these conveniences,
I feel a part of me is lost and empty in a way that is indescribable. We Asians have forgotten many things that belong to our own cultures. Many of you might think, if something is backward, inferior, or worthless, just forget about it and let it go. Yes, that's true, but in moments of emptiness and loneliness, when I re-examined what belonged to my people, I was startled many times. Among the things we have forgotten, many are valuable and profound, and sometimes irreplaceable by what Western culture offers. Immersed in a life influenced by Western culture, we encounter numerous issues that disrupt our balance, cause stress, and create immense pressure. And believe it or not, the conveniences of Western culture cannot fully resolve these issues. But during such times, Eastern culture, or more specifically, my own culture, my roots, Vietnamese culture, helped me, regenerated me, and even helped me better adapt to the pressures from Western culture. Do you need an example? Let me first provide examples from my own experience. I have had many health problems. 15 years ago, I suffered from a herniated disc, a spinal disc condition. It was, of course, very uncomfortable and painful every day. The first place I turned to was a Western-style hospital. They gave me some medication, advice, and minor therapies, but what was the result? Nothing got better. I asked many people with the same condition, and they all said, "Forget Western hospitals. Even doctors can't cure their own herniated discs, let alone the patients." Naturally, I was very disappointed. I thought Western science could solve all problems, but my issue seemed hopeless. A relative introduced me to a traditional healer. I went to see him and was a bit disappointed because his house looked like a slum and the living conditions were poor. But the healer was calm and confident, and his confidence showed in his demeanor, even though he spoke very little. Amazingly, after 2 weeks, my symptoms improved by 70%, and after 6 weeks, I was nearly cured. Do you know how he treated me? If I told you, some of you might know, but many might not believe it. His method was simple. He used about 10 tiny needles to puncture my body during the sessions without any medication. In Vietnam, we call it acupuncture. Of course, this is an ancient method from China and Vietnam, unrelated to Western culture. However, after the treatment, the healer told me that his method would only relieve my symptoms for a few years. For a permanent cure, I should seek self-healing through Qigong, traditional exercises that Westerners find hard to learn because they encompass Eastern philosophical principles. Everything happened just as the healer said. After a few years, my symptoms returned, and I sought out Qigong. Initially, I tried a few teachers but saw no results. Then, one fine day, I found my current teacher. He was very healthy, even at 85 years old. When I explained my situation and asked for a training regimen, I expected something very logical and scientific, like Western methods. But no, he said nothing. He rarely answered my questions. When I asked, he would change the subject. Sometimes, impatiently, I would press him. How should I train to get better? He wouldn't answer. He just smiled and gestured as if to say, "Just keep practicing." The exercises he taught were very simple, raising and lowering arms, twisting, bending, and swaying the body. If you saw a video of me training, you might laugh and say, "Is this martial arts? Is this Qigong?" At the time, I didn't understand him, but now, after nearly 10 years, I do. After recovering from my condition with these simple methods, you might ask, "If you understand, can you explain it to us?" I would reply, "I can't." Do you think human language is versatile enough to convey all information? You are mistaken. The language of any advanced nation is very limited. There are things that cannot be fully explained with words. As a saying in the Qigong community goes, when you speak, you are already wrong. However, I think you will understand me through the following stories because, in my view, to explain a person's strange actions, you must understand their cultural background, philosophical viewpoints, and way of life. At this point, it's not just me, but many others who are seeking to rediscover the culture, lifestyle, philosophies, and ancient spiritual values of Asia that are incredibly valuable to anyone living today. Thank you for listening to my humble sharing and reflections. Some of you may have different opinions, but the content I share here is not only about expressing my thoughts, but also creating a space to hear yours. What I discuss in this video might resonate with some of you, while others might not find it as fitting. If my words do not resonate with you, please feel free to set them aside, and perhaps we will connect on another topic in the future. I wish you moments of relaxation, peace, and deep reflection today, tomorrow, and in the days to come.